The wine growing environment in Tasmania is equal parts hostile and obliging. But as we Tasmanians know, the weather can be slightly fickle and slightly unpredictable. From the really wild winds we get through the roaring 40s, often in spring, through to searing Tasmanian sun, incessant rain, hail, frost, whatever it is, you know that we get it each year and at a different time each year. From the time that the vines start to wake up in spring, as those berries start to form and those bunches start to form and then ripen over several months until they're finally ready to be harvested, which can happen anywhere from basically mid-February right through to May, sometimes even into early June. Those delicate little wine grapes are sitting out there exposed to everything Mother Nature throws our way. So here in Tasmania, at a tiny island at the edge of the world, we are cool by latitude. And this is important when it comes to growing grapes. And what that means is that our wine grapes don't see those extremes of temperature. Everywhere we are, we're surrounded by water right here down on the Tasman Peninsula. And if you think about where our grapes are grown in Tasmania, it's along the east coast with the ocean there moderating the climate, or it's along all of our rivers, the Tamar River, the Pipers River, the Cole River, the Derwent River, the Huon River, and so on. Tasmania is incredibly diverse, and so of course the wines and the vineyards of Tasmania are not going to be the same. The seasons are different, every vineyard's different. So depth and diversity is really what Tasmania is all about. Australia's a huge wine growing country, and Tasmania is only a very tiny part of it. But Tasmania also doesn't have very much in common with the rest of Australia. And that's true when it comes to our climate. It's also true when it comes to our wine styles and the varieties that we grow. So what's the biggest problem with Tasmanian wine? There's not enough of it. There's more demand for our wine than we can keep up with, which is great news for Tasmanians because we are spoilt for choice. We've got access to wines from all around the island right here for us to enjoy. And more people are travelling to Tasmania to experience these exceptional wines.
So the cooler climate here in Tassie makes it challenging at times to grow grapes, which means we need to pay a lot of careful attention to our vineyards. Everything that we do is hand tended. We're in our vines every day looking after them. The long, cool growing season in itself means our vines develop and our grapes grow and mature slowly. So they have nice, high natural acidity levels, which make them bright and mouth-watering and really enjoyable. And they develop gorgeous, complex flavours.
So Tasmania really is cool climate, and our vineyard site is well south. We're exposed to the wind and the weather here. In general around Tasmania it's like that. So each year is different. Some years you get a good crop, some years you get a low crop. So it's not predictable, but the flip side is if you put the work in, you're going to get, if it's a reasonable crop or a low crop, you're going to get an awesome quality wine, and that's the rewarding part. I think the variable seasonal conditions are a real challenge in Tasmania that you might not get in some other growing regions across Australia. Tasmanian vineyards by and by are little pockets of a few hectares poked onto the side of a north-facing hill out of the roaring 40s somewhere. So that scale is a challenge in Tasmania, but nothing good ever comes easy, right? So that's one of the attractive things about grape growing in Tasmania.